Alright, good morning everybody. It is, Monday. It was nice last night to finally get out of Utah. It just seemed like I was in Utah forever, and you know, some of those long gravel roads out in the middle of the desert, or I don't know, whatever you want to call that terrain. After a while, you just kind of need a break from it. It seemed like I found myself going faster and faster on some of the long straight stretches and gravel roads, just trying to get out of the middle of all the emptiness. But today, like I said, we're in Idaho, and just north of American Falls here. It's definitely farm country. A lot of beautiful green fields. It's a beautiful sunny day, so it's a nice change of pace, nice change of scenery setting, and it looks like it should be a pretty good ride for the day. Alright, haven't been driving that long, and we are already into some rough sections here. Not rough sections, but definitely challenging. These aren't just dirt roads. Well, they're dirt roads, but I mean, they're not just like gravel side roads. These are very much dirt and rutted roads, or trails more than anything. But hey, I mean, that's an FX4 Ford, right? It should be able to handle this. You see how badly rutted this is. You can imagine if it was raining today, the work we would be going through trying to get up through here in four-wheel drive. That's why you need to make sure you have the right tires when you're doing an adventure like this, because you don't know what you're going to run into. We're fortunate today because it's dry, but I'm confident that even if it was raining right now, and had been raining for a while, that the combination of the four-wheel drive, the rear locking differential, and these mud tires that I have, notice I said mud tires, that we'd get through it without any problem. These cows are looking at me like, where do you think you're going? I'm going that way. You go that way. As rough as this looks, it's still a two-wheel drive trail, but there's no way you'd get across here if it was muddy. Some of these spots I can get up off on the sides of them or straddle them, but if it was muddy, you would end up just sliding into the ruts. Not that the ruts are a bad thing. The problem is that they get deeper and deeper, and if they've been rutted out by somebody that has a taller tire than you do, you could end up in a situation where you're dragging the bottom of your truck going through there. You know, maybe get, oops, sorry. Maybe get your rear differential, or front, well, either differential really, but more likely rear differential, get it, you'll be dragging it in that high centered area, and it would be slowing you down, or, you know, could even just bring you to a stop, high center you. So you want to try to stay out of the ruts as much as possible. Jeez. That's a good spot for a picture. If you're wondering why I keep going around the mud, since I'm in a four-wheel drive truck with mud tires, if I was just here to play for the day, that'd be one thing. But I don't really want to get hung up, stuck in the mud. If I have to go through the mud, I will. But if I can avoid the mud, I'm going to. If you're going to do the Trans-American Trail and you're heading north from American Falls in Idaho and it's raining, be prepared for this. Well then. I switched to four-wheel drive just because I'm starting to get both tires in the mud at the same, or both sides of the truck in the mud at the same time. Definitely want to keep our momentum going. You don't want to lose traction, stop. Somebody's made this little side trail. The main trail has so many long, muddy sections in it that looks like people decided that it's best to go around it. I'm ready to be out of the grass and back onto the dirt. I feel like the dirt's smoother. We are still on the trail around Craters of the Moon here in Idaho. Some of the some sections have had some big mud holes in it. It hasn't been too bad though. Fortunately, it's been a dry day. It hasn't, it has been raining, so it hasn't been that difficult. You know, it's gonna be dirt roads. It's gonna be mud holes. Every so often it's going to get rocky. You're going to find these big black rocks everywhere. So you definitely make sure you keep an eye out for them. Came across a cattle grate over the road that was actually elevated. I don't know, like almost a foot above the road or something like that. That really wasn't the way it looked. Approaching it, it looked like maybe it had been washed out or something because it was kind of angled weird. But then I thought I was gonna have to crawl over it, but then once I drove up on it, I realized it drops down to the ground. You know, as long as it's functioning properly. But I videotaped myself going across it, recorded myself going across it because I was expecting it to be something completely different. But if anything, you know, hopefully somebody else will find that helpful so that they understand if they see a grate like that, how it works, and that they can just simply drive up over it. That they can simply drive up over it and, you know, it'll drop down to the ground for them. So, it just straddled a mud hole back there. But going over it, it was still kind of deep going up over it. I heard it hitting on the bottom of the truck, which I guess you saw that. I think Ford would be upset if I hit this really fast to see how much air I could get. I'm gonna say yes. Still going around Craters of the Moon here in Idaho on the Trans-American Trail. This section still has some rough, muddy sections, but it also has kind of smoother gravel sections like you see in front of us now. So I'm doing about 40 right here. So get over this section a little bit quicker. It's not as intense as the other side. And of course, you always have to watch out for the cattle. All right, starting to see some signs of civilization. Appears to be a town over to the right. And I think I saw a vehicle moving across in front of me somewhere for a highway. So, looks like we are finally about out of this area. All right, after doing the Craters of the Moon section, Marley and I stopped in Marley and I stopped in Arco, Idaho, to grab a snack, use the restroom, stretch our legs, and we are now back on the Trans-American Trail. Oops, sorry, just west of Arco. Gonna zigzag back and forth here a little bit, I guess, before going across these mountains. See him back there, Marley? They were chasing us. Alright, I just had a setback. Just talked to a guy from the Forest Service. He was closing the road down here. Antelope Valley, where you turn to head up towards Copper Basin. About 3 miles up the road there, apparently the road was completely washed away. So it's not at all passable. So I have no choice but to head back up towards 93. I'm not getting a good enough navigation signal back here to try to find any alternate routes. So I'm just going to go up the highway, kind of circle around and see where I can reconnect somewhere. Alright, so as I last told you, the road was washed out going from Antelope Valley. What was it? Antelope Valley to Canyon Creek. So I turned back to State Route 93, went west, and I found the road that I'm on now, Trail Creek Road, actually cuts over to the road that I was on, but on the other side of where it was washed out. Now you lose miles going across it, but at least it gets you back on the Trans-American route, or the Trans-American Trail. And it's paved, it's chip and sealed from 93 pretty much almost all the way up to where you intersect with the Trans-American Trail, which would be right here. So works out pretty good. And it still puts us, we only lost about half of the distance going across here. So and there was a warning sign back there, and I wasn't paying attention to it, but I think it's just, you know, the signs that you see that tell you there's going to be steep drop-offs and grades and all that other happy crap. Hopefully we can get across the rest of the distance here and stay on the trail. Road's smooth enough that I'm easily doing 50. Probably could go quicker if I wanted to, but this seems like a good speed. It'd be great if this section just stayed like this. Oh, this would be a great place to take a picture. It is definitely a beautiful drive here on Trail Creek Road on the Trans-American Trail in Idaho. Still traveling across Trail Creek Road. Check out that view. All the dust from this road playing havoc on my brakes, makes them squeak and that moaning sound, but they don't do it when I'm on the highway. They only do it when I'm on this dirt gravel road. So this is Warm Spring Road outside of Ketchum, Idaho. Took the Trans-American Trail into Sun Valley. Stopped in town over there and got gas, and now we're heading west, continuing west. And every so often you see these trees. This is avalanche damage from the snow coming off the mountain in the wintertime. Alright, so as you saw, the road was closed. I saw a sign when I started back into this area that said that there was going to be a road closure due to a mudslide, but it said it was so many miles east of a town that, or an area that we're not near yet. I don't know why it didn't just say that it was closed so many miles forward from the sign down here. I had created a detour route because I know from watching a video that there's a closure on the Trans-American Trail, and I knew I'd have to go around that, and I'm really not that far from where my detour route was, and I figured that I was going to get at least that far. I figured that sign was more for the sake of people that were wanting to go the whole distance across. So, anyways, it is what it is. Log of miles in the dirt. Got to see some really pretty areas back in through here. So I'm just going to have to go back and head down to the highway and detour around this whole area right here. And while we head back to the direction we came, since the road was closed, I'll turn the video camera back on. Since the sun's behind us, maybe we can actually get some decent shots going this way.